Right, thanks for staying with us. You're watching The Agenda. Former President Jacob Zuma's lawyers have hit back at President Ramaphosa's lawyers' claims that he is entitled to ignore the summons issued against him. This is as Zuma has launched a private prosecution bid against Ramaphosa. Spokesperson for the JG Zuma Foundation, Mzwanele Manyi, joins us now for reaction to President Cyril Ramaphosa's ultimatum given to former President Jacob Zuma to withdraw his private prosecution bid or face legal action. Mr. Manyi, thank you so much for your time on The Agenda this morning. The clock is ticking and you say there's no withdrawal on the table.
Yeah, good morning and good morning to your viewers. Indeed, in fact, if there's any clock ticking, we have actually given them a 5 o'clock today because their issue is to say you should not have served it here, you should have served it there and all of that. So we said, although that is actually legally nonsensical, that whole argument, but we took the view that, okay, we'll tick the little box that you want ticked and serve it wherever you want to, and we've given them until 5 o'clock today to say exactly where is it that it must be served. But importantly, I think it's a very sad day today that we have state attorneys making such a misguided advice to a head of state attorneys advocating for anarchy, state attorneys that are saying things that are contrary to what the Constitutional Court has said. Please give me just 1 second. Let me just read you just a couple of lines of what Justice Madlanga said in Constitutional Court in a case between Magnificent and Celias in 2020 about. This thing is called the Odekral Rule. It says, I quote, "The Odekral Rule itself informed by the rule of law. Imagine the specter of organs of state and private persons ignoring or give heed to administrative action based on their view of its validity." Then they underline this, the administrative and legal chaos that would ensue from that state of affairs is unthinkable. Indeed, chaos and not law would rule. This is what Chief Justice Madlanga has said in a Constitutional Court ruling. Now you have state attorneys that are saying, let's have legal chaos. Can you imagine that you have a situation where you are told something with a stamp of the registrar of court, you are told ignore. Would want to see this, happening 19th of January 2023 is the court date. Let him ignore that. Let's see if a warrant of arrest is not going to be issued. So we are daring him to ignore.
All right, I need us to backtrack a bit. I know that you are also mentioning how state attorneys are being used in this particular matter. Now, on the one hand, you have this private prosecution that you guys have instituted. And on the other hand, you'd also have people say that your private prosecutions is also baseless and spurious as much as you would be hitting back on the other end. What would your response to that be?
This is why you have the 19th of January. We're not going to litigate in the air. We're not going to be doing all the merits of the case in the media. 19 January is the date so that he can say all that he wants to say there. And in fact, what is very important here, this is actually another abuse of state resources. This is a criminal case. This is a criminal case. This is why, actually, when you are hunting down a criminal, you have to find a criminal wherever. This is why the summons were served wherever a suspect in criminal case had to be found. Now we have a situation where a person facing a criminal case in his personal capacity is abusing state resources, is abusing state attorneys, even the government, his spokesperson, that guy is paid by the state, is supposed to do work that is state-related, not personal shenanigans of Ramaphosa. Whenever a head of state does rogue activity, that rogue activity is not protected by the office of the presidency. He must face it man to man. So for Vincent Magwenya to be on state payroll and busy with personal criminal matters of Ramaphosa is wrong. He is paid by taxpayer. He must respect the taxpayer's money that is paying him to do this. But importantly, Ramaphosa has got a case to answer. 19 January 2023, he must be in the Johannesburg High Court at 9:30. A judge will be there wearing a red gown because it's a criminal matter.
So what do you make of the president's accusation that you guys are actually abusing the judicial system of the country?
But as I said to you, he must go and make that case in court. The reason that the High Court has been able to process this, put a stamp on it, is because it ticks all the boxes that are needed to be ticked in order for the matter to be lodged. So the matter has been formally lodged. If you have all criminals generally, I've never come across a criminal that says I'm guilty. All criminals generally believe that they're innocent and all of that until they're proven in a case of law, in a court of law, to be guilty. So even in this case, this accused in a criminal case that carries a 15-year jail term, if he thinks that we're playing games and all of that, no problem. 19 January 2023, go and say that in court. He must not avoid court. We want to see him in the dock. We want to see him answering in the dock in court.
So let's speak about your plan of action as the deadline for this ultimatum that you've been given looms close, which is tomorrow. What's going to happen?
No, that thing has got no legal effect. It's absolutely, it's just an opinion of the misguided state attorneys. Absolutely no legal effect. What we've said to them is that legally, there's no legal consequence out of that thing. Absolutely nothing turns on that. We said to them, or the lawyers have written them to say, 5 o'clock today, by 5 o'clock today, tell us where we must serve these things, because their petty argument is about, no, should not have said it here, should have said it there, whatever. Okay, although it doesn't make sense, but our lawyers took the view that they don't want to be fighting petty little things. Okay, where you want it served, we'll go and serve it there. But they must tell us by 5 o'clock where it's going to be served. But their deadline of assuming that we're going to withdraw the case, let me put on record, it's not going to happen. So if they want to do anything, they may as well fast track what they want to do, because we're saying on record, there is absolutely no withdrawal that's going to happen, because the case is lodged, we've got a date in court, and we'll see them in court.
So now, lots is being said around the timing of this particular back and forth now, Mr. Manyi, and with most analysts even coming out to say that couldn't it have been done at another time, perhaps not during this time of conference, maybe?
I'm yet to see somebody to tell me when exactly must Ramaphosa be held accountable. 1st of June this year, when Arthur Fraser came and made all kinds of very serious impeachment qualifying allegations to say the man has done all sorts of things. He has violated foreign currency. He's involved in tax evasion. They are suspect of money laundering. There's kidnapping. You name it, all the rule book is broken. And it does this in June. Again, we get told, no, it's now close to the conference. Exactly when must this man be held accountable? The issue here is that the people that have been delaying this process, if truth be told, is actually the NPA. This case started in August 2021. Since then, we've been saying to them, prosecute. And then if you don't want to prosecute, give us another prosecutee. They dilly-dallied and tried all kinds of monkey tricks in the NPA up until in June. They issued the nolle prosequi for Billy Downer, and it was a bit fuzzy. It was not clear how the others are coming in, but somehow they were saying this is the one. And in fact, it was so fuzzy that even had a Karen Mon saying, this thing does not accommodate me, I'm not here. So we had to get back to NPA, say, NPA, what is this? Can you please up your game? Give a nolle prosequi that's going to deal with these people and all of that. And then what they do, they give us a one in November, 21 November. So the nolle prosequi that we have that accommodates Ramaphosa and all others that are connected to this matter was only issued 3 weeks ago. So you can't say we are now responsible for the fact that the NPA has been playing games since 2021 up to now, and now you want to hold that against us. If anyone has to be blamed about this, it's the NPA. They should have done this last year already.
All right. Mr. Manyi, thank you so much for your time on the agenda this hour. That is, of course, a spokesperson for the JG Zuma Foundation, giving us reaction there.